Yeah, baby. Dub City. Man, oh man. 3 in a row again. It feels like it was just the other day when the Lions won 3-0 because, oh, wait, it was. All right. We are the Honolulu Blues coming in for a Lions post-game victory show. Hopefully, they'll be able to give you guys some more of these. Make this, a kind of typical thing. Come in on the Sundays, do a victory, and then maybe, outside of times will be tough this week because it's, Christmas, but outside of Christmas week, I'm sure we'll be able to do, a victory Sunday and then our regular episode on Tuesday, Wednesday, etc. But nonetheless, boys, oh my goodness, this was a game I know all of us were, a little bit shaky, a little bit nervous. There was a couple of questionable calls, a few bad golf throws. Just all in all, this wasn't, our sharp, crisp game, and we weren't really expecting it. But at the end of the day, we got the dub. That's all that mattered. So I'm going to go with you first, Nick. Give me just a little bit of breakdown, just real quick, start to finish. What were you feeling? Give me some of the highlights that, really stand out in your brain right now.
There's a lot to break down in this game, good and bad. We can go offensively and defensively for good and bad. There was a lot of bad plays, in my opinion, that allowed chunk plays to the Jets that should have never happened. But ultimately, we got the W, and through the emotional roller coaster that we had to just sit through, and I had to go through not only watching the game, but, tweeting out with fans who just get so toxic sometimes whenever we aren't perfect. We get so toxic, and it's like, oh, come on. We got to stay true, and we got to believe. Even the Buffalo Bills have bad games. Even the Chiefs have bad games. They just went to overtime with the Texans. Like, not everyone's going to be putting up 65 points every single week. The Jets were. It was a great win. Ultimately, that's it. It was a great W. We're 7-7, as it says right below me. 500, baby. We started 1-6. Who the fuck thought we would have went to 500 after starting 1-6? Nobody.
And not to mention, our only loss is against the Super Bowl favorites, Buffalo Bills, on a game-winning field goal. So it's, loss to loss. I'm not, trying to cherry pick it, but it's not a loss against the Jets, a loss against the Panthers, a loss against the Browns. It's a good team. So we know this Lions team can hang. If it's on the road or at home in Ford Field, we can hang with the big boys. So Julius, if I don't remember correctly, we were on Spaces the other day, and I think you gave a pretty close score prediction. Was it it was close to 2017, right?
I picked 24-14 Lions.
Okay.
So that those couple touchdowns we left on the field pretty much was the difference between my score and otherwise. But guess what? It don't matter because we got the dub, bro. We got the dub. Hey, listen. All I gotta say is the last 4 minutes of that game, I was SOL in my soul. I'm you know what I'm saying? My heart rate was going. And this is just something that the Lions in the past would have lost. They would have lost this game in the past, but they didn't. They held on and they played hard all game. Shout out to the defense for showing up on a day when our offense had a rough time on the road. They just putting it all together right now. And I'm just very happy. I'm happy. This was going to be the roughest game out of the last 4. We're going to Carolina next week. It could be a trap game, but I feel like we have a better shot against them than we did against the Jets. The Jets, that's a good team. They have a pretty good team. Obviously, they have some offensive flaws that we were able to take advantage of. So, shout out to the Khalif Raymond on that punt return touchdown. That was the difference. So, very happy right now.
Yeah, that was the difference. And, real quick, let's just jump right into that 4th down call. It was 4th and 1. We tried to run it down their throats, all 4 plays. I do and I don't like the call because Jamal, I feel like he had the touchdown. He just kind of bounced outside a tad. I don't know. It was weird because if you watch the block, the dude gets blocked out of his way and then gets blocked back right into Jamal Williams. So he had to make a weird decision, which, caused him to not get the touchdown. But it worked out perfectly, and I think Dan Campbell knew that Zach Wilson would be coming out in his first drive since, being benched a couple weeks ago, and he'd be on the 1-yard line. So worst case scenario, 3 and out, maybe first down, we get the ball back at midfield, but we hit the best case scenario, the punt return of Khalif Raymond. That was awesome. Right when he caught that, Nick, do you know, right when he had that lane, I was like, oh, baby, here we go. It's like one of those, go, go, go. And sure enough, boom.
That was incredible. And no, I was a little like, oh, okay, let's just get into the 20. Let's get into the 30. Let's get into the 20. Oh, a 10. Let's get into the 10. All right. He hurdled, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
James Houston, who's making a great block. He hurdles him, which I was like, don't get tripped up here. Let's not go through this rigmarole again. He doesn't. He scores. It's a great way to start out 7-0, especially as Julius said earlier, on a day when our offense was lackluster and trying to find rhythm for 58 minutes and 50 seconds. This was what we needed. This was obviously the only touchdown we had forever. So, I mean, it was incredible. This was bigger than anyone can. And I know it happened first. So it's like, it gets lost because of recency bias of what happened recently in the game. This was huge. This was monumental. Great play, Khalif Raymond. We love it.
I will say another play that was huge. It didn't really work out in our favor, but it is something that, boys, this is the real deal. That's Jameson Williams. If we didn't know that he was the real deal after last week, just seeing another one of these plays where you're like, he's wide the hell open again. I know Goff underthrew him, but when he is playing full time, there will be plenty of those. And Goff is going to miss some and he's going to hit some. It's just going to happen. So as long as Jameson is, burning guys 1 to 2 times, maybe more a game, I think we got something really special with him and, just a really unique weapon. So
he was about to be 2 catches, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was, but this is what I tweeted out about that. Like, because that was huge. That was a big thing. That spiked a lot of Jared Goff hatred. And then it just snowballed throughout the entire game while Goff couldn't hit anything pretty much. But it started with this. And this is what I will say. And I'm not going to defend Jared Goff. I truly believe Jared Goff is a quarterback that can't win a Super Bowl. And I truly don't know how many road playoff wins he'll be able to win. Or road playoff games he'll be able to win. That all being said, he's not the worst, and he takes time. We've all seen it. It takes time for Jared Goff to find a connection with someone. Amon-Ra St. Brown took 8 games, right? That's why we had to bring in Josh Reynolds, because no one had connection with Jared Goff. DJ Shark has only played 5, 6, 7 games, but he's just now finding that connection with him. It takes time. Jameson Williams was never able to practice with him, has been able to practice with him for 3 weeks. Jared Goff, and I don't think anyone outside of maybe Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, understands how hard and far you have to throw the ball to get to a speedy receiver like that. Tua can barely do it with Tyreek. He has hit Tyreek in flats. Tua is 49% over the last 3 games completion percentage. It is hard to hit these receivers, and that is with a year's worth of practice or a half a year's worth of practice. Anyone who's saying Jared Goff is the worst quarterback in the world because he missed that throw doesn't know football. Do I think Jared Goff is the best quarterback in the NFL? No, God, no. But the fact of the matter is he did underthrow that. That stinks. I'll bet you it doesn't happen too many more times. It's happened twice, and we get that. If it happens 3, 4, 5 times, then yeah, we can really sit there and look at it and be like, okay, something is up. But after 2 times, we all need to calm down, hit the slow down.
Jameson Williams is like that super high or locked, I should say, Ferrari, Lamborghini, whatever, Need for Speed, that finally you unlock it and it's just impossible to drive. You're burning out, going left and right. As a kid, you don't know how to drive this thing. But once you do, once you're a couple years older and you're like, holy crap, why haven't I been playing with this Ferrari the entire time? You just got to, figure it out a little bit. And that's golf, man.
I literally texted my buddy Pete, who might be watching right now. He was earlier. Said the same thing. I said that's like jumping. It's for Jared Goff. It's like jumping into a sports car, and on your very first run, not just stalling it out. It's just jumping and being like, "Oh, nice." No, dude, no one. If we all jumped into the fastest sports car we could get into right now, and none of us just gonna hit 60 in 3 seconds, not a fucking chance. That's what's going on. So I agree, and I love the analogy, Adam. Like that's exactly what I said.
100%. All right. Julius, any thoughts on Jameson? Are you kind of, on me and Nick?
You know what I want to see from Jameson Williams? I want to hit Jameson Williams with some quick hitches and some quick slants.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to just do one play action bomb a game.
Why are we doing that? Why haven't we?
Exactly. I want to see more of him. Like I understand they're moving slow with him, but hey, I mean, he looks like he got his legs under him. Hit him with a quick slant. See if he takes it 50 yards. He did it in Alabama like 20 times.
I don't understand how we haven't drawn up one play in 2 games for him. That's just
We don't need to, boys. We're winning games
against Carolina.
Today we kind of needed to. Today,
we on the Jameson Williams breakout watch, starting with Carolina. I thought it might be against the Jets. It could have been if Jared Goff would have had a little bit more air under it. I think if they would have been at home, it would have been a good throw. But against Carolina, against Chicago, he's gonna break out, bro.
I like that. My buddy
Bart Minnesota in round 1.
We're saving them for the playoffs, so you can't let all the tricks out of the bag. But I kind of agree here because maybe not the playoffs, but like really important spots where if you throw Jameson Williams in motion on like a 4th and 1 or like 3rd and 2 or some teams are going to be freaking out. Like, what's happening here? He's getting the ball, and decoy or not, it's going to be something. So Ben Johnson, I can't wait for him to really start feeling comfortable that, I'm going to let loose with this guy and not just really keep him at one target a game.
Yeah, I agree. I can't wait for it either. Ben Johnson, we can talk a lot about him right now. His play calling, I thought, was a little lackluster today. There's a lot I can defend about it, but I didn't love his play calling. I don't know.
What? Give me some thoughts. What about it? What?
Just think that, and I get the fact that we're playing the Jets, who's a good defense, and we're not going to try to win this game by doing what Zach Wilson did and chucking that ball up 50 yards because we saw the pick by Jerry Jacobs. We saw what can happen on the bad side of that. That's not how Jared Goff is. Like, we were going to win this game through grit. But here's the thing, dude. We'll talk about that very first drive that we were talking about. 4 downs, 4 plays inside. We have an 18 or 19 straight goal-to-goal with a touchdown streak. Longest in the NFL. We ran it 4 times. That wasn't acceptable. Okay? There was other plays where it was like, oh, good play call, good draw up. There was a lot of times where we were sending nothing but underneaths. Goff had time and couldn't. Goff, there was one play where he had 6 seconds and just couldn't find anyone. I get that it's like, Jets, good defense. I think you need to put a little bit on Ben Johnson and say we need to have better play calling. On the road, against the great defense, we need to be the better team. And we were. It turned out to be that we were. But I don't know if offensively we were. So I'm not going to try to be like, well, Ben Johnson, he did great because we won the game. No. You can win a game and leave room for improvement is what I was saying.
Brock Wright play call. That was a slick play call. Having Brock Wright.
That was the greatest play call in the history of the Lions.
Especially because he dropped the first down and we went back to him.
Redeemed.
But it was not Jared Goff's first read. In fact, it was like his 3rd or 4th read.
Yeah.
He was looking at St. Brown, who was triple.
No. Brock Wright was the primary on it. Go back and look. Matter of fact, go back and look. They ran the same exact play against the Dallas Cowboys. When they played the Dallas Cowboys, where they marked him down at the 1-yard line and then Jamal Williams fumbled at the 1. Right. They ran that same exact play for Brock Wright, and it ended up doing the same exact result.
So you think that Jared Goff, like staring down a mountain St. Brown, is like the decoy? That's like supposed
the decoy, yes.
Like,
and Brock Wright
you all know I want to throw it there. No, Brock Wright. I like
perfect,
that.
Perfect. Yeah. And you got to have balls to call that because I thought they were on quarterback sneak it and live for the rest of the drive.
And I think what's going under mention and what I said was like Brock Wright dropped the biggest first down pass just a play before. And to have the wherewithal, to have the cojones, to have the trust and confidence to say, TJ who? That's okay, Brock. We'll go right back to you. Boom. And then he's like, okay, that was my bad. I messed up. Let me go score a touchdown, a game-winning touchdown for us right now. I loved that. Go Lions.
Yeah, man. I have never felt like TG Hawkinson has been more I'm not saying it's in a mean way, but like useless to this team than I do now, just based off of what we're doing and what we're doing it with. And it's not just Brock Wright. James Mitchell is getting a couple little pitter patters here and there, making it work. So this is just awesome that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell realized, hey, we don't need to pay up for a tight end. We can do it other ways. We have, and I did hear a lot of rumblings right when Hawk got traded that they were confident and big on Brock Wright, that he was, just as athletic and, a playmaker as Hawkinson was. He just wasn't as developed. So in his second year, towards the end of the season, in a big game like this on a redemption moment, couldn't ask for much more from Brock Wright. So all in all, he's just doing a phenomenal job. The one thing we're going to talk, keep going about Lions, the penalties, boys, we seem to be controlling the penalties, been doing good the last couple games, but this game was atrocious. Some of them were a couple, questionables, but Evan Brown, the holdings, it's just like, that was
Frank
that was
Ragnow, holdings.
tricky.
Yeah. Frank Ragnow had the holdings. Yep. There was a lot of holding. It was not great. Penei Sewell had a holding. It was a lot of
I
holding.
just think that the refs were holding thirsty. They were like really looking out for it on both sides of the ball. And it just was one of those games where we just kept getting caught for it, unfortunately.
Aiden got his first
52 yards.
holding against them.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we had 6 penalties, 52 yards. They only had 2 for 20. So
it
was tough. They usually win the penalty battle.
Lately, it's great with Dan Campbell. But when you're in New York with that New York media market, no. The NFL do whatever they got to make sure the Jets have a chance to win it. Which, god dang, did they have a chance to win it? Freaking Greg Zerler.
Because they called a timeout with no time left on the clock.
Woo. Oh my gosh! We don't need to jump to the very end of the game just like that. We're all itching to die.
All right. Let's talk another rookie, and that was the man that kind of made. It was right. I'm pretty sure it was maybe the Jets' second drive, but the James Houston sack, man, 5 in 4 games. It just like we keep thinking, I know everyone's thinking, okay, he's about to fall off. These were just a couple of lucky, here and there. But no, man, this dude is legit. These pass rushes he's having are he's a stud. He is a stud. And I'm not sure why he's not playing like a full, 100%-ish game. But, I mean, we don't need to, I guess. We got Okora now stepping up. 2 sacks. Kaminsky in there is just, a huge force. Aiden's really understanding how to, control the offensive lineman and find out where the ball's going. Because Aiden, although I don't think he had a sack, he caused at least 2, maybe 3 sacks just by kind of forcing Zach Wilson to duck under, get in there, cause some pressure, etc. So all in all, James Houston, Julius, how many sacks does James Houston finish the season with? He's at 5 right now. We have 3 more games.
I'm going to stay on pace with James Houston, and he's going to finish with 8 sacks.
Could you imagine if Houston had more sacks than Hutchinson at the end of this year? It's not that far-fetched. I mean, honestly.
Yeah,
you see Aiden Hutchinson today in the run game? He was shutting down the run.
Him and Aleem were both so good in the run game, dude. So good.
Speaking of the run game, talk a little fancy football here. I saw a fantasy analyst, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was tweeting out. He said, I don't care if the Lions have been good against running backs in the past. Start Bam Knight, Zonovan Knight, the running back for the Jets. I'm thinking, oh, no. Our boys have been locked down. So yes. I didn't quote tweet him, but I came in his comments. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? And sure enough, we made a $20 friendly wager that is going to some sort of charity. So I was thinking either I was going to look up a Brock Wright charity or maybe a Hutchinson charity because Hutchinson, was so good on the ground. But give me your thoughts, guys. Any place we should put this $20 towards?
I like wherever Hutchinson has his charity set up for. He was the reason why him and Aleem were the reason that we stopped him. Also, Anzalone, who played freaking phenomenal.
Oh, real quick, if we're talking Anzalone, that last play.
He almost had that sack.
Oh my goodness! I was like, get him! And
I'm not hating on him for that.
I'm not hating on him at all either. Right. Zach Wilson's fast. He outruns like 90% of linebackers. Roquan Smith maybe gets him, but Ryan Shazier maybe, or not Shazier. I don't know what I was thinking. He's a fast linebacker though. But I don't fault Anzalone for not getting that, sack.
No. In fact, on that play, Aiden Hutchinson does an amazing job bringing the edge or the right tackle and the right guard into each other and taking them both out, which made Zach Wilson come out of that pocket, which gave Anzalone again, Anzalone didn't finish it, but it was an amazing play by Hutch to be selfless and not go for the sack, but force Zach Wilson out on the edge, knowing that Anzalone was right behind him. It was one of the smartest, you'll never see it, football plays in the game that I just watched. And no one will ever talk about it. No one will ever see it. If you like, I guess we go back and look at it, which hopefully someone will, because they'll be like, oh, Lions stink. Look at this play. But if you watch that play, Aiden does an amazing job to create the perfect opportunity for Anzalone. Just amazing. Another great reason why Aiden Hutchinson is Rookie of the Year. Or maybe James Houston is. I don't know.
Honestly, this just all in all, man, the ending of this season has truly been just picture perfect for the Lions. If we could somehow sneak into the playoffs and face the Vikings, Oh, that would be so fun. And
that's why I was happy that they won, to be all honest.
Honestly, yeah, I know. I mean, I know the Vikings, we were all rooting for them to, bomb out the Lions, win out. But realistically, like, they just needed one win, or the Lions need one loss. So I'd rather, this happen, I guess, than kind of, root for.
Definitely. What you do not want to happen, Lions fans, everyone pay attention, is the Vikings to lose a game. We need the Vikings to win out. If they lose a game and San Fran catches the 2 seed, which all they are 1 game behind, we play San Fran in the first round instead of Minnesota, in San Fran instead of Minnesota, we are fucked. We have to play Minnesota.
So right.
We can play San Fran in the NFC Championship game in San Fran because we'll have a lot of confidence and a lot of momentum. That is fine. What we cannot do is take them on in the first round. It cannot happen. We need to be rooting Vikings. We need them to win out. It is okay. They're a very bad NFL team. They get lucky this year. We can take them in the first round. The 49ers are a different story.
They definitely are a different story, especially with, you might be thinking, oh, Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant. Well, check the tape last game. Not too bad.
No, not at all. 35-0 on the Bucks at halftime 2 games ago. Yeah.
Don, honestly, Julius, let me hit it with you. I'll give you the ultimate question. Out of 10, what is your confidence level that the Lions truly do make the playoffs?
Out of 10, before this game, I would say it was at like a 5. Now it's at like an 8.
Oh, all right.
Matter of fact, I could even say a 9, but I'm gonna be humble. I'm gonna be humble, just like the Lions should be humble. You know what I'm saying? We should stay hungry. It's 3 games left. Don't sleep on Carolina. And, this is going great, though. The vibe is working.
I agree. And, one thing, I'm looking at our schedule here. Last 3 games, we're in Carolina next week on Christmas Eve, so a Saturday game. And then we're taking on the Bears, and then we finish things off. That's what's interesting. In Lambeau against the Packers. And this kind of has me thinking, if the Rams were to sneak out a win on Monday Night Football, I wouldn't be too mad because it would most likely kind of push Aaron Rodgers to the bench. Not saying this is going to happen, but if Aaron Rodgers is in this game at all when we're playing them, I will feel a little nervous just based off of their season, based off of what he could do to the Lions. He knows he's already tormented the Bears. He can't, ruin the Vikings season.
SOL, bro. SOL. That's what that is. That's what that fear comes from. It comes from Aaron Rodgers breaking our hearts several times in that exact situation that we're looking at. I'd be happy if the Rams beat the goddamn Packers too. Put them out their misery. Drop a spot in the draft. I don't give a damn.
But counterpart, Lions make a just stomping victory in Lambeau. Aaron Rodgers is just like falling apart because it's chilly out and he just can't win in the winter. And the Lions, that moment, we just we flip spots with the Packers where we go, oh no, you guys are rebuilding, we're contending. Ha 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 ha. Enjoy.
I'm really nervous about that game. I'm also very nervous about Chicago. Chicago just played Philly really well. Chicago is not going anywhere. Just feels trying to win every game. And we beat them by 3 on the road. We are not like, oh, we're so much better than Chicago. No, we're not. In fact,
at home.
We hopefully it'll be nice. It'll be nice that we have Jared Goff who can throw touchdowns, right, for a game. It'll be good. But our defense allows 215 rushing yards to Justin Fields, and we're screwed right now. Like, hopefully Deshaun Elliott's healthy. Like, he's got a shoulder injury. He didn't return. That's a huge player in our defense right now. I'm very nervous about our two. I'm not too nervous about Carolina, but it could be a trap game. Chicago, Green Bay, not just same old Lions. Literally, those are 2. Green Bay, not so much. Chicago, realistically, guys, Chicago is a team that really scares me. And then just going to Lambeau is always nerve-wracking, no matter who's, even if it's Jordan Love. Honestly, that might scare me a little bit more. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Honestly, might scare me a little bit more rather than a checked-out Aaron Rodgers starting, knowing that this season's over, maybe trying to do whatever he can to help his front office get him a wide receiver and tank a game where Jordan Love will be playing for his career, which we've seen Matt Flynn and other quarterbacks make bank off of playing for their career on the Lions. And that was same old Lions, but the fact of the matter is, like, those guys play for more when you're a backup. For me, it's like, I'll take Aaron Rodgers, who's just trying to tank this season away. So I don't know. Give me a Packers win.
But
no, I don't know.
Let me ask y'all a question real quick. Both of y'all. Adam, Nick. Give me a reason why the Lions run through the next 3 games in victory. Because that's very much possible because we're on a heck of a run right now. You know, and those 3 teams are struggling ahead of us. They're all 3 struggling in their own ways. They're not doing what we're doing.
It's true. Our defense, that's how I answer that. Our defense is the reason we go 3-0 on these last 3 games. It has been elite. I don't care about the chunk plays that Zach Wilson gave up. How many points did they score? Remind me. I can't remember.
Under 20.
Oh, 17 points the Jets scored. I'm not worried about it. I am not worried about our defense at all. In fact, our defense is a top 10 defense. I tweeted it, and I did not tweet that satirically. I did not tweet that sarcastically. I did not tweet that just for the hell of it. I dead serious. You look at the last 6-7 weeks, our defense is a top 10 defense. And it was again this week. I don't care that Okuda let Jeff Smith get 70 yards right before halftime. Whoops. What? Hey, they got him a field goal. Did they win? No. It's all right. Okuda's fine. Everyone is fine. Our defense is legitimately a top 10 defense, and it's great. Losing Elliott would be tough, though.
Oh, yeah. You're dang right. It's great, Nick. It's just we don't have it's crazy how far we've come from week 1 where this was like we're allowing like 40 points on average. We literally had statistically the worst NFL defense or the worst defense in NFL history for the first like 3, 4, 5 games, whatever the stat was, but it was ridiculous. Like the Lions just had nothing going for them. And then I don't know if this is just the weirdest thing because right after the Aubrey Pleasant firing is when like the train kind of just like started to tick, or the stock ticker started to tick back up, and it was just like the Lions got better and better. And granted, we were getting guys back healthier, Jerry Jacobs, Josh Pascal, etc., coming back. But all in all, I mean, we still don't have Pascal right now. Julian Okora's on IR, so it's kind of been, get a player, lose a player. There hasn't really been too many games where we've been 100% healthy all around. We've always had a couple guys in and out, but all in all, man, this is a defense that can definitely, hold these next 3 teams, I don't want to say nothing because we see the Bears, and you're right, Nick. Justin Fields kind of scares me, man. Running quarterbacks, he also, no doubt, he hasn't forgotten about the last time he played the Lions on his home turf. He kind of choked it away, threw a pick 6, and just, couldn't make a good comeback against the Lions. So I will say, having 2 individual games, your last 2 games, is going to be tough. But if the Lions win out, I will, boys, is there a way the Lions win out and the Vikings just do their thing and we face the Vikings and we're favored come playoff time?
Yeah, that's a possibility right now.
I know it's playoff talk, so that would be the thing, but we were just favored against the Vikings, so talk me into it, Julius.
We're going to be favored our next 3 games against all 3 teams. If we beat all 3, and I don't care how the Vikings finish their season. I don't care if they win the last three of their games. I feel like they're going to favor the Lions in Minnesota.
Oh, wait, I thought I had Julius on my shirt real quick. Okay, no, that's the different Kool-Aid guy. Okay, here's the thing. We were favored against the Vikings because we were at home. Jared Goff has played 6 road games. How many touchdowns has he thrown? Answer that question, both of you.
3?
Okay,
1.
Adam, what do you got?
That's like
It was
1 or
2.
2.
Way to split the middle, boys. 2 touchdowns, 6. Oh, no, it is 3. Julius, you're right, because he just threw one today. I forgot caught that touchdown. Yeah. I'm sorry. 3 touchdowns in 6 road games. You will not be favored against Minnesota in the playoffs with that. That's not going to happen. The reason we were favored against Minnesota is because we were at home, and at home, Jared Goff has thrown 20 touchdowns, 6 more than any other NFL quarterback in the entire NFL this year. He's I don't know. He's being lifted by the angels of the outfield or something like when he's at home. But on the road, the angels of Ford Field. Thank you, Adam. He on the road, he is being dragged down by the Satan of on the road. I don't know. But I'm saying that Jared Goff on the road is a different quarterback than at home, which is why I like that we got Chicago at home, which is why it scares me that we played Green Bay the last game in Lambeau, and which is why I'll say we will not be favored against Minnesota. No way, because we will not have a home game. That's what I would have to say.
All right, I'll play a little counterpoint here. Jared Goff, maybe he's good in domes and not just homes. So where the Vikings play?
Domes and homes, and the
In
Vikings
a
play.
dome.
How many touchdowns Jared Goff get against Minnesota when they played? I don't even remember.
Okay, so yeah,
Of his
when they
3.
played Minnesota, he went 25 for 41, 1 touchdown, 1 interception.
He had one of his 3 on the road right there. Well, shit. Give it
I
to
know
us.
that's pretty good odds right there. I'm trying to see if we played any other. Dallas. All right, I guess that one proven wrong. 21 for 26.
He didn't have Amon Ra.
He didn't
have Swift.
Didn't have Swift.
Okay. And I think that's the only other dome.
I'm just saying, we all got. I mean, we can sit here and try to defend him all day. Jared Goff ain't got good on the road. He's not.
I agree. I hate when Jared Goff is outdoors.
We don't need Goff to be great. Yeah, but
when he's outdoors, I don't like it.
I don't like it. Is Jared Goff the quarterback of the future for the next 6 years? I'm gonna ask that question right now. No, don't give me an E-minus. Is he? Yes or no? Is Jared Goff the quarterback for the next 6 years for the Detroit Lions?
Put a gun in my head, yes.
Okay, Adam.
If I had to have like a 6-year juicy contract, or send him out the door, dead cap cut, whatever, I would probably cut up, just because that away game, it scares me, man. I'm just like, I know what he has at home. And you could go,
okay, don't draft CJ Stroud. Just don't do that.
No, don't draft CJ Stroud. Jesus Christ. But I agree with Adam that Jared Goff, we're looking at Jared Goff through the eyes of Lions fans who have been in turmoil for so long. I think we're not realizing, or maybe not seeing as much, that a lot of this is the offensive line, is the skill position around him, is the play calling around him. Jared Goff is just doing the bare minimum not to throw the ball away. And he makes good throws. Like he is a good quarterback. He is a good quarterback. There is no doubt about it. You don't get paid that much. You do not throw that well. You do not have that many touchdowns at home if you're not a good quarterback in the NFL. Give me the chance. Give me the potential of someone younger, rookie contract deal. I think you could literally plug in pretty much anyone, Anthony Richardson, and they could do what Jared Goff is doing, if not better.
I feel like at this point, though, you got to bridge Goff now. Like, you have to re-sign him or whatever for the next 2 or 3 years, and then draft a quarterback in the second, third round. Now, you cannot have this replacement this next season after this. You cannot do it.
I just don't know if we'll ever have the chance to draft a quarterback this high again because of Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes and how good I expect us to be for the next 25 years. I don't know. I don't want to get caught in 16, 17, 18, 19 purgatory and not be able to draft the top quarterback when we have a top 3, 4, 5 pick right now and another pick. If we can double up and go get Bryce Young, trade both of our first rounders and move up and get Bryce Young, I don't know. I mean, that's something I would pull the trigger on, to be all honest. I'm
Bryce
not
Young,
that bullish on
him. I think he's probably the only one I would consider. Outside of that, I'm really hoping for the Lions to maybe draft a third, fourth. I want to see how good Brad Holmes has drafted quarterbacks, because I don't think we've taken a single quarterback in the Brad Holmes era. And I don't care what round you draft him in. Brad Holmes, you've shown me that you're a good scout. So no matter what, I just want to see something a little like, hey, Jared Goff, we believe in you, but, this is old, I don't even know. I was going to say Michael Penix, because he was the guy I really wanted, but he's returned to Washington, which stinks. But counterpoint to your Jared Goff statement, Nick, and I know I was just saying Jared Goff might not be the guy. I will say a really good coach or an excellent coach can make an average quarterback, elite, in a sense where we've seen it before. Trent Dilfer win a Super Bowl. Nick Foles win a Super Bowl. Colin Kaepernick make it there. Jimmy Garoppolo make it there. Joe
Jared
Flacco
Goff
win a
make
Super
it
Bowl.
there.
Who?
Jared Goff.
Yeah, Jared Goff even made it there. So it's like, I'm still agreeing that, that Rams team was much more loaded than we are now. But if we're kind of looking at the pieces, if Houston is a legit pass rusher, Rodrigo's a legit linebacker, you got Curb as a solid safety, and then Hutch is, a solid, right end, then it's looking pretty similar to, the Rams defense, offense, with Kupp as like a JMO, your deep threat. Amon-Ra is your Robert Woods, but,
and then what do the Rams have to do to win the Super Bowl? Trade away Goff. Just because we're building a team just like the Rams doesn't mean Goff's going to go win a Super Bowl. Even if Goff gets us to the Super Bowl, we need to stop thinking that that's our pillar.
Yeah.
We need to win the Super Bowl. Jared Goff can't win a Super Bowl. Can't happen. And
We
I
need to win a
hope he wins
playoff
the
game,
playoff
man. We
game.
need to win a playoff game.
I hope
will
he can
say-
at least win his playoff game. But do we trust Jared Goff going into a road game in the playoffs? As opposed, would we trust Bryce Young? Probably a lot more than Jared Goff.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
Right now, I would trust Bryce Young to win me a game on the road more than I would trust Jared Goff, even though Jared Goff just did it. And I'm not lying to you. Right now, I bet Bryce Young could win more road games than Jared Goff. And that might be crazy to say, but when we see Bryce Young in a year, I just don't think I think we can come back to this and you guys will be like, shit, yeah, Bryce Young is pretty fucking good. And Jared Goff is just very average on a very good team.
Man, if we don't get Bryce Young or just, whatever happens, and we have ride out Goff, and Goff just has, 8-9 season, whatever, 7-10, whatever. I want to do anything possible to get Caleb Williams. I don't care if it's trading like 3 first rounders. This guy, oh my dude. We're getting more into draft talk, but Caleb Williams, 2024 draft. Oh my goodness. He's going to be a superstar. Get ready. I think he's by far the best quarterback, hence why he just won Heisman. But whole different draft topic. Any other, Julius, little man, want to give any comments about the Lions' victory?
They win.
Yeah, they did.
Love it. Any other comments we got here, Nick, on this?
Yeah, let's talk about the end of the game.
That's right. Okay. I lost my notes here.
I got you. Let's talk about the end of the game. Whoa. Let's talk about that field goal that we missed. Michael Badgley missed a 54-yarder. Had only hit a 53 as his long. In the elements of the weather, not even in the dome, and we tried 54-yarder. What the fuck did we not punt that for, dude? That was a bad Dan Campbell call. That was a bad call.
Keeps going back and forth on these like 50 to 55 yarders. He's like field goal, miss, punt, should have went field goal. And it's just like, and I will say, Jack Fox wasn't the best of punting today.
Right.
So,
yeah, and if he puts a touchback, that's only like a 20-yard flip. That's a 20-yard flip. Not that much, realistically. You know what I mean? So I guess I kind of get it. But, dude, I don't know. I trust Jack Fox more than I trust Michael Badgley, to be honest. That's how I'd break that down. Who do you trust more out of those two?
Probably Fox. Based off of just like, how the Vikings game went, how the past games have went, I would probably lean Fox.
But you gotta lean Fox. Badgley hasn't hit like those outdoor games, and I like get him in the dome. 54-yarder is that's a different aspect. That's a different idea.
He's a good stadium kicker, good dome kicker. Outside of that, not so much.
So then we miss that. They go score a touchdown, and we're down 17-13. All of a sudden, we need this huge Brock Wright play. But then that happens, and we play defense, and we allow a 3rd and 18. We allow 4th and 21 or something.
Yeah, it was like 4th and 8.
It was 4th down. They get it, and then they have to kick that 58-yarder. But, dude, like, there was that prevent defense we've been talking about for the last 2 weeks. Like, what do you do? I don't know. Just an interesting ending to the game. Like, I don't know. I didn't like that Dan Campbell kicked that field goal. I didn't like that.
Julius, we're talking about the missed field goal that I didn't want to say was missed because it was left short. It looked like it was, it was another one of those field goals where he kicks it. You're like, oh, this is money. Then you're like, wait a minute. Is this going to make it? And it just slowly, like, just short. So it seems like Dan Campbell keeps going back and forth on what to do on a 52 to 54-yard field goal. So, Julius, we're at this situation again against Carolina. Game's tied 17-17. What would you do in this situation?
I mean, on the road in the elements, it seems like you can't really trust Badgley from that far out. But I wasn't too much against the decision because it was kind of 4th and longish. And if we get the points, if we get the 3, if we do get the field goal, they need a touchdown to win, which is harder than needing a field goal to tie, which they were trying to do ultimately after our go-ahead touchdown with Brock Wright. But I'm not that against it. We are still winning. Put it in the hands of our defense. He trusts our defense. That's not a big thing to me. I feel like Dan Campbell, if anything, he was a positive in this game for the most part.
Okay.
100%.
I disagree. I think we need to punt that ball, and we giving him that short field to a bad offense was a bad idea.
I think he's just got
not
to
a
play
coach.
it on who he's playing and not just like what he's feeling. Like that was Zach Wilson in an offense that really only had like big plays, I guess, because it seemed like the only time Zach Wilson was making stuff happen is when he'd like roll out and there'd be a dude that would just find the soft spot and broken coverage or man-to-man coverage, and Zach Wilson would just lead him 20 yards, and the dude would just run under the ball and catch it. And it happened, a few times. But yeah, I kind of agree with you, Nick. We should, if that's Tom Brady or Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen, I like the gutsy, try to get the points. But if it's Zach Wilson and we, saw what happened when he was on the 1 yard line last time, in which they had to punt it out, a quick 3-and-out, we got a punt return. Not saying Fox is going to put it right on the 1, but similar.
I take the 4th down too. I would have took if he would have went for it. Like I think it was 4th and 6, was it, or something like that?
I would not have been a fan if they went for it, dude.
I would have been over the field goal. I would have been, and with the punt, it was also
just punt.
You still got him in their territory with the lead.
I think we just punt that ball. We don't even got to battle and throw that last. But then we wouldn't have, if we would have punted it, we probably wouldn't have had a Brock Wright game-winning touchdown. So you know what I mean? All's well that ends well.
Yeah,
that's true. All right. Well. Oh, I know that was the
beggars can't be choosers.
That's true. I see this question down here we haven't addressed yet. MCDC Coach of the Year ? Probably. I mean, Sirianni's gonna win it or whatever for Eagles, which is dumb. But I mean, respectfully, it was one game all year. But
he was tied for second best odds. Not gonna say what they were, but he was tied for second best odds with Robert Saleh. And I know for a fact Vegas did this on purpose, and they were deciding whoever wins this game is gonna jump to number 2 and then maybe a smidge closer to Nick Sirianni. But all in all, man, if Dan Campbell wins out, his odds should be, I'm not saying he should win, but he should be right up there. Like
only one other team in the NFL ever started 1-6, made the playoffs. 1970 Cincinnati Bengals.
He has to win out for a chance.
52 years later, we're trying to do the same thing. 3 games ago, guys. I can't even handle. I'm not even gonna be able to watch next week's game. I can't even handle it.
We went from 1-6 to 7-7.
It's nuts. It's nuts. I went from saying it was time to tank 2 months ago to being like, we're winning the Super Bowl. It's crazy.
Yeah, so back to that missed field goal. It was 4th and 5. So 4th and 5.
Yeah, go for that. Or punt it. Don't kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Damn it. At home, maybe, but not on the road.
Yeah,
not
I agree. At home, maybe, but not on the
J-Mo
road.
quick slant, first down.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? We ain't going to do that. See that until 2023.
I don't know. I feel
that could really be the playoffs of 2023. You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
Hey-o.
That's a good point. All right. Fun fact: our boy, not Aiden Hutchinson, but our other defensive tackle and whatever that we drafted, has more than double the sacks than Kayvon Thibodeau. So yes, James Houston has 5 sacks as opposed to Thibodeau's 2. I will say Trayvon Walker is right on his tail with 3.5. But
13 games played.
Yeah, 13 games played. So
as opposed to 4.
Yeah, honestly.
Romeo Cora's got 2 games played and 2 sacks. He's about to be right up there with everyone. Shit. We are crazy. I don't even want Will Anderson anymore. That's why I'm saying I want Bryce Young.
I tweeted it. Jalen Carter is the guy.
Jalen Carter would be great. Did you hear about his off the field issues though that Todd McShay reported on? Said he might fall in the draft because of it. Might help us out, but I'm just saying something to look at.
Interesting.
Right now,
he's not a murderer. I'll take it.
Yeah. Shit, we got half of them in the NFL anyway. Well, maybe not half. Yes, it would be crazy. I still think with that pick, Bryce Young, dude. I know. Jared Goff's not my favorite quarterback, and I love that he gets us wins, and I want him to win a Super Bowl for us. And if he does that, I'll say he can stay forever. You know what I mean? But I predicted us to go 10-7 this year. I predict us to win a playoff game this year. Nothing that's happening right now is outside of my expectations that I came into the season with. So, and I also predicted this to be the last season with Jared Goff. So, I think this is ultimately going to end up at. Well, maybe not next year will be his last year. I'm sorry, we're just not going to reset.
We doing Panthers predictions.
85.
I was gonna try to give out a spread, but there's no spreads or anything available right now. I'm sure they'll have it out by like the end of tonight. So they're pretty quick on that. But let's do a little spread question. So Nick, what do you think the spread's going to be? Lions on the road against the Panthers, who just lost 24-16 to the Steelers.
-3 to start, -5 to start the game. That's my spread guess. Is that all we're guessing?
I like it. I like it. Julius, what do you think?
I mean, I do -6. You know, I can see it.
I don't think Vegas trying to lose that money. I think they know what Goff is on the road.
Yeah,
right. I see -5 at the highest, probably.
Yeah, -5 to start the game because it'll start -3, and we'll all buy that.
I think it'll start at -4.5. I think, we'll get a little extra juice. We just showed we could beat the Jets on the road, so why not the Panthers? And not real quick, but I was going to check the Panthers' road win schedule, but they've only got 5 wins, so it can't be too many. All right, let's loop it back around. Nick, give me a score prediction.
Jared Goff on the road against Carolina. Give me 23-16. 23-16 Lions.
23-16. I like it. Julius, let's hear it.
The Lions defense will shut down Carolina's run game, force Sam Darnold to be the victor, a la Zach Wilson. I don't think that they're going to have just as much success on the Lions this time. And I think our offense is going to have more success on their defense. They just let Mitch Trubisky pour 25 points on them at home. I think Jared Goff is going to have a bounce-back game. I'm going to go Lions 30, Panthers 17.
Ooh, that's 5 points on the road. I like it. I'm kind of with you, Nick. I think it'll be not like low scoring, but like mid scoring. So I'm going to go. They just let the Steelers go for 24. I believe on the road.
Wasn't that Trubisky starting too?
They were home. Yeah. Trubisky starting too. So, Panthers not the best defending their den because this will be a cat game too. So this is Battle of the Cats. So game we need to win. But the Panthers, I will say their last couple games, they outside of this loss they just had the Steelers, they beat the Seahawks, which was huge, and then they beat the Broncos, which that's it. All in all, doing a lot of talking here. They do have a couple nice wins at home. They beat the Saints, they beat the Bucks, and they beat the Broncos. So I'm going to go 24. I think they're going to have the same amount of points they just did to Trubisky, but I think the Lions defense is going to come out and show 24-13 Lions victory.
Woo!
Go Lions. All right. As always, before we wrap it up here, check us out on Twitter at Honolulu Blues _. Check us out each individually at Julius at the Fifth Top, wherever his name is, and then Nick at Nick Favorite NFL, and of course myself at Everyday FFB. Got all sorts of good Lions content and back stats. I don't know, whatever. But thanks everyone for joining in, and as always, go.